And luckily I had walked by and heard it. And I was just like, "Hey, buddy,
Yeah.
you need to meet me in the office real quick."
You're listening to the AV-IT Amplifier. Each week, we'll feature voices and ideas that need to be amplified in the higher education and pro-AV IT communities. This show is brought to you by higheredav.com. And now here's your host, Ryan Gray.
Well, hello again, everybody, and thank you for coming back again to the AV-IT Amplifier. And as I always say, if it's Wednesday, you know that without fail, we will be here with content for you, except for those 2 Wednesdays that we've missed that nobody should pay attention to in the past. Because without fail, every Wednesday, every time. We are back for week number 2 with my friend and now your friend, Kameesha Jones. Kameesha, would you remind everybody who you are and what you do?
Yes. My name is Kameesha Jones. I'm an audiovisual project manager for Florida International University, and I also work with the Miami Heat as an audio engineer.
And if you are clicking on this one and you didn't hear last week's episode, please go back and hear about what she does in all these roles, and including coming in as the HETMA DEI chair. You have a long list of things that you've picked up the mantle to run with, which is fantastic. So I have a list of questions for you, and we're gonna dive into them. But I teased a little at the end of last episode, which is your Twitter feed is the most active, I think, of anybody I follow. Somebody that I know, like, depending, like, if you're having a good day, we're gonna kind of know, and if you're having a bad day, we're gonna kind of know. And there's things that show up on there that have, that can be like, oh, wow, I don't know, I would have said that if it was me. But with you, it comes across to me as you just trying to find a way to be authentic with the world. Am I reading that right? What does Twitter do that keeps you posting on it like that?
It's in social media. Like, social media to me is a fake life, especially Twitter. And also, too, I have to be authentic. If I'm not authentic, then I'm not fake. So however you see me on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, I'm pretty much the same throughout. And LinkedIn is a little bit more professional due to I have a lot of that, but Twitter, not so much. It's really authentic type of thing. And sometimes my life is very like it's a movie. If I have a 24-hour camera on me 24 hours a day, it's like a movie. The craziest things happen to me sometimes, and it's just be like, that's a tweetable moment. That's
nice. Well, I like it is fun to be able to follow along with people, even if like somebody but it's not somebody you talk to all the time. Somebody who, and you get to feel like I have a feeling of what may actually be going on, and knowing like all the things you're working on and all of that. Like, I believe you if a camera was following around. Like, we'd need a reality show. I think we still make reality shows, right? Like, wouldn't your reality show be a pretty good show?
Yeah, it probably would. Yeah. I do so much. Like,
I know.
I do a lot. Yeah.
All right, put you on the spot. What would you call it?
A day in the life of Kay.
Of Kay? I like that. That's nice. All right, I want to ask you, and this is like, we'll put her thing in there. She's a must follow on Twitter. Let me ask you, this is just from today. Following tweet. I love the fact that I know people in all 50 states and overseas, because if I'm ever in a state and need something, I can phone a friend or colleague. It's a great feeling.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is, because I'm getting ready to go to the HETMA golf tournament, and I can't fly into the Palm Springs because it's mad expensive, and also too, it's like 3 layovers before I actually go there. Right. So I need to be in LAX. So if there is a time, like it's a far away from prom, like an hour, I guess, away. So I have a couple friends that are in LA, and I was like, hey, I'll be in LA soon, but I need, a ride to Palm Springs. They're like, oh, absolutely. We could definitely take you. We'll pick you up from the airport if you need. I'm like, thanks. But it also too gives an opportunity to reconnect with them. I haven't seen them in a while, but I'm always I say that today, I'm a good social media friend. I'm always catching up with people on social media, but text me, I'm a horrible texter, Jesus.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I love that. I'm not like, you are the exact kind of person, like I said, that would absolutely pick up people everywhere they go and know. And you're right that social media. I'm the same way. If you were like, hey, I'm coming through Arizona, yada yada yada, something's going on. I'd be like, okay, when, where, and what's going on? You know what I'm saying? How can we help? Like, people would go out of their way to be like, oh, we get to hang out with Kameesha. All right, let's do what it takes.
Absolutely.
And
they're the same way when they come to Miami. They hit me up first.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
I'll be in Miami, so and so. Oh, bet we get on brunch. Let's do brunch. Or show me all the spots, or show them some Airbnbs, or they want a yacht party. I know a couple of people that does a lot of yachts. Yeah, so.
I want a yacht party.
Yeah, hey.
How do I get that? I want to do that. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
What?
All right, new life goal. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Question, and almost everybody gets this one because I love to talk to people about this. Do you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert?
Oh, I'm definitely an introvert.
Really?
I am. I'm working on it. Like, I'm really working on the extrovert part. Like, because going back to Infocom, Infocom was the first year, and it was very, like, whoa. Mm-hmm. So, in that, my introvert kicked in a lot. Now, my anxiety was, like, through the roof. I was like, I don't know what's happening. But this year, I kind of really got a little bit more out of my shell and really started really talking to more people. And and I also, too, it was my second year seeing my Hetma family. So, it was just like, okay, y'all are my BFFs. So, so I think that, too. But I'm definitely an introvert.
Well,
in real life.
You have some jobs that seem to require a lot of extroverted activity for that. I'm really good with words and make a person feel comfortable and things like that. But if I don't have to talk, I don't really. You don't want to.
Talk.
So have you had to like put together a regimen of like understanding like here's how I have to recharge after things like that and adapt to it?
My social battery runs very, very fast.
Wow.
So all right, I'm done mingling. I'm gonna just go to my room now.
It's my time to disappear.
Dinner time.
And
nice. Yeah, I definitely have to recharge because once again, it definitely takes a lot out of me to talk to people, to put myself out there more because I am such an introvert. But I'm working on it.
Well, you've got me fooled. You know what I'm saying? I would have lost that bet if
really?
I had to wager ahead of time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm definitely an introvert.
Okay. All right. Well, keep it going, but don't you don't have to try too hard. You be you. It's what works.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I try to make sure I'm authentic at the same time, but it's tough. But I've been working on it.
Nice. What was your first job?
In AV or?
No, in life or in general.
My first job was in college. Because my parents didn't allow me to work during like school or anything like that, and also too I was very heavily in band, and in band you can't really have no job because just that. But my first job was in college. It was a thing called Daytona Lagoon, and I was a lifeguard, and then I transferred over to like an arcade attendant. So, and I think that's probably why I got my first bit of AV in because I was always fixing the games that was broken and things like that. But yeah, Daytona Lagoon was my very first job.
And you were a lifeguard. I was so excited
when I got that first paycheck.
Yeah. Did you have to like jump in and save people as a lifeguard? Did that happen, or was it more stop running on the side of the thing?
We probably like saved like two people because one of them thought they was so they can swim and it was a young kid or whatever, so we jumped to save them. And it was one lady, she had caught a cramp in the water and was acting crazy, but other than that, but yeah, it's a pretty chill job.
All right.
It was tiring.
What would you? Yeah, no kidding. What would you say are like the things you learned in that first job that you continue to use today?
Customer service. That was my first time, like really, because I have a very thankful. I'm thankful for college. I'm thankful for the leadership on the public speaking classes that I've took, because my speaking was not up to par. So I had to learn how to talk to people correctly and not use no profound language while I'm talking to people because I had a potty mouth.
That's what you mean by profound language?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a potty mouth and I just didn't know hey, you can turn it on and off. I guess they call it, what they call it, code switching, it say. So, yeah, customer service is where I really, really got that. And that's what I use today. I have really good customer service skills. Really good now, but
yeah.
That's
well,
what
that's
I really
interesting. That sort of getting into a place where you realize I have to change something about me in order to interface in this kind of environment going forward.
Absolutely, and that's when I really figured out, okay, this is a business, and in order to run a business, you have to have employees that abide by the policies and stuff like that. And I was just like, oh, okay. This is so new, but yeah.
And now here you are, the one training other people how to do that. You know, college student workers, some of them are doing their first job also.
Right. Oh, yes. Yeah, I do have some firsters. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
Any particular incident or story that comes to mind?
Yeah, I had a student worker. He's a freshman, first job ever. And he told a client to shut up. Like, you're not, I am in charge, so you shut up. And luckily I had walked by and heard it. And I was just like, hey, buddy.
Yeah.
You need me to get in the office real quick? And I was telling the client, I said, is there anything I can help you with? Trying to smooth over a lot of things. So we talked, and I was like, hey, you can't tell a client to shut up. He's like, but, she was really on my back about her event. And I was just like, she's supposed to. She's our client. She's paying us to host this event. So I have to really hey, that's not appropriate. If the person is really badgering you, say, hey, I understand your frustration, things like that. I'm doing the best that I can. If anything, I can call my supervisor to help, things like that. He's like, oh. I was like, it's okay. It's your first job, right? It's like, yeah, I've never had a job before. It's okay. These are growing pains. You're going to learn here and there, but let's just not have that type of language. So after that incident, we had a training of customer service training right after that, literally.
It's one of my favorite things about staying in higher ed is, getting to still, 18-year-olds just stepping out in the world, and we get to interface and have and there are times where, you're just going, wow, what made you think that was okay? But then you go, you don't know where everyone came from. So we get the chance to be little surrogate parents every once in a while and provide a little bit of help on that front. Yeah. So that's awesome.
Give him grace and not reprimand him so quickly, because I was definitely going to fire him, but. Right. But I said, let me give him grace. He really don't know what he's doing. So.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, pick your favorite. And I've asked this of a number of people, and the answers are all over the place. Ready? Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, Adele, or Beyonce?
I'll go with Whitney.
Yeah?
Whitney all day. Love her. I love Beyonce too, because if Beyonce ever called me to be on her tour for a production team, I'm leaving FIU. I love higher ed.
That's what I'm saying. That's it. Quit that a minute. Yeah.
I'm out. But yeah, I say Whitney all day. I love Whitney since, oh my gosh. Well, I think my mom really got me into Whitney because she loves Whitney. So I've been singing Whitney since I was in the womb. So,
I was going to say, if you're on the 40 under 40 list, it's got to be your mom that got you into Whitney. Because, you know what I'm saying? Whitney's more okay. Well, so when you think Whitney, when you think Whitney Houston, what is it that makes you go, nope, that's the top of my list there?
Her range, her diversity, her voice itself is just, she's one of the best vocalists of all time.
Could sing the phone book and you would just on the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
All right, what's your favorite song?
I Have Nothing.
Yeah.
Bodyguard is my favorite movie for her.
I believe, yeah.
Bodyguard is one of the favorite movies for her. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's, you just watch that movie just to listen to the songs, even if you don't pay attention to the plot. But then if you work the plot and you pull the whole thing through, you know what I'm saying? It's a classic.
Yeah.
How old were you when that, wait a second, how old would you have been when that movie came out?
What, it came out, 94, 90 something?
Sounds right. Yeah.
I was 4 when that movie came out.
You were 4 in 1991? I was in high school in 1994.
When I was of age to really understand the movie and the soundtrack, I definitely watched it.
There you go. That's awesome. Yeah, you cannot go wrong. That is absolutely the most popular answer on that list so far, is Whitney Houston. So it's pretty good. I did have one person negate the entire list and say Dolly Parton. So that's, you know what I'm saying?
Country, yes.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Okay, serious question.
Okay.
Do you believe that most people are generally good with the proclivity for evil, or generally evil with a proclivity for good?
Ooh. I think everybody is good. I think the evilness comes from provocation, like something provoked them to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody definitely have a good in them, but also too, I feel like evil is taught.
Mm-hmm.
You can teach evilness. So, yeah, I think that's my answer to that.
And if you were, how do people teach evilness?
As a child, you always watch what your parents do, and if you see a parent treat somebody bad, you're like, oh, I think that's okay, so I'm gonna do it too, and nobody ever corrected the behavior. So it's like, okay, well, I know treating people bad is the best way to go because nobody taught me otherwise.
Right.
So, yeah. And I think, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You're
squinting and thinking. I see.
Yeah, because it stems from that for me. Because I mean, like I said, whatever you are as a child, sometimes you become that as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you address some of those issues. If you don't address it, then you're just gonna be an asshole all your life.
Yeah. Anybody know anybody like that out there? Oh man, I bet everybody does. Yeah. For sure. Then the first part you said, evil comes from being provoked into it. What do you mean by that?
So, I feel like if someone is doing some wrong to you, like, they're constantly doing that wrong, it's going to be a point in time they're going to get tired of it, and they're just going to be like, yo, this is not okay. I'm just going to and that's where revenge comes into play. Like, I'm going to get revenge from you because you're treating me like this. And this is just a circle. It's a cycle type of thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's a situational thing to behaviors of that type. Yeah. I don't think this is exactly what you're saying, but I end up in conversations every once in a while where, people are looking down on somebody else and that sort of thing, and they get them to, yeah, but what would you do if you were in that same situation? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, where you get to the point where, evil's a bad word, but you could look at somebody and go, oh, well, they shouldn't be doing X, Y, and Z. And you go, but what if you faced the hardship? What if you were faced with the situation they were faced with? Might you know what I'm saying? Couldn't you actually blame somebody for doing something that you might actually do if you were in their place? And when we lose that perspective sometimes, I don't know.
Yeah. And also, too, it's a case by case, situation, too. Because if somebody, for example, if somebody is talking down to me constantly and things like that, I think my next approach would be, why are you talking down to me like this? What is your problem that whatever I'm doing that's upsetting you, what is it? Now, I'm going to warn you, you keep doing this to me, I'm going to do something to you because it's only so much a person can take. You could be a very good person all the time, and as they say, a godly person, sticks and stones may break my bones, but it's just nah. Yeah, something's up. Like, yo, what is it? What's good? Like, it has to be an explanation. If they don't have explanation, they just want to, like, I don't know, I just want to do it because I don't like you. Okay, right. Cool. So
you seem like, then what you're saying is you need to go through the nuance of each of these things. You know what I'm saying, and understand before. Yeah. If only everyone out there had that sort of emotional intelligence quotient.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't always had this emotional intelligence. I just got it.
Like from Amazon, you ordered it? How did you get it?
It takes, I think, experience. Is just like, okay, I can't live my life like this, so let's try something else. And, therapy also, too, helps figure those emotions out. Oh.
I think on this show, therapy's come up a number of times, and I am on the record. You know what I'm saying? I believe, like, therapy, everyone should be in therapy. Don't wait to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't mean something's wrong. Like, it's like having a personal trainer for your brain and your emotional state, you know?
Yeah, and like in the Black community, we thought that therapy is, oh, you crazy. You going to the therapist because you crazy.
Right.
So it's just like, now we're just now changing the narrative, and it took my generation to do that, to say, okay, no, I'm really messed up in the head because how I'm living my life is not what I wanted to do. Like, I have to figure this out. I have to figure out my emotions, and also too, you want to address those traumas, because that trauma goes on to your children and children's children, and it's just like, nah, I ain't doing that.
No, it does feel across the board that, like, having that conversation is, like, before it was like, oh, you know, they're seeing a therapist meant, yeah, like you said, oh, crazy, something's really wrong with them. Normal people don't need that. Meanwhile, they're walking through life white-knuckled, frustrated, angry all the time and all that. Like, well, at least I'm not one of those people. Like, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out, I'll run this idea by you, because as someone who recruits and hires people, and I'm sure there's a law against it somewhere, but I feel like I want to put that in as an interview question for future jobs. Like, do you have a regular therapist? Because I feel like if they don't, then as their boss, I'm going to end up being their regular therapist. So I'd like to have somebody who's already got one on the outside. You think I can get away with that? You think that'll fly? Or
I don't think so. I don't think so. HR.
Yeah, probably doesn't work.
Or, you know, suggest it to them at the end of the interview. Hey, you know, this job does require a little bit of burnout. We do have medical facilities, or we do have medical professionals that are on the site if you need to talk to somebody or anything like that, because once again, this job definitely sometimes you will require some burnout here or there.
Well, I appreciate the recommendation. Yeah, we take care of our bodies, we take care of our brains, we take care of our emotions, and behold, you know what? We can become really good people that way.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So when I was trying to get you booked on this show, I suggested, hey, maybe we do it Friday, and you're like, nope, Friday's my birthday. Yeah. I am unavailable. So I am hoping that you are unavailable on Friday, not because you have to work or do something else, but because you are doing what you want to do. True?
Lying on the beach.
All right.
All right. I'm be a beach bum the entire day, and then have a good dinner with my spouse. And, you know, just enjoying reflecting. You know, I think my birthdays have been really more of a reflective birthdays for the past. When I turned 30, ever since then, it's just been reflective, because I've done the turn up, the parties and all that. I think now, as I'm getting older, it's more of a reflective time and just quiet time to just reflect, be appreciative, pray, and just like, because people don't see 34. I'm gonna be 34, so people don't see that age, especially in my community, right? Especially in, you know, my age bracket and things like that. So I'm very grateful to reach another year.
So you say going to the beach, is that a place where that enables that sort of reflection, meditation, prayer that you were talking about?
Yeah, by my sign being a Cancer, water. I'm a water baby, so I love water, because that's where I keep calm. That's where all calm meditation, the purity comes into play. So, yes.
That's interesting. Is it things about the noise, the atmosphere? I mean, like you said, the water itself kind of...
The water itself is calming, and I think of, you know, life as waters. You know, you have waves crashing against the shoreline, but at the same time you have, you know, the calmness and the stillness of water too. So.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I hope you have an amazing day. You know what I'm saying, on the beach. So that's, if you've got a day, you know, your birthday to do, that's what you would do. How about if you got to just kind of got a budget, click in, I'm booking a vacation right now. Where are you going and who are you going with?
I will be in Europe somewhere. Europe, somewhere on the water, on the yacht, 9 times out of 10, with my spouse and some close friends of mine. You know, we like to do those group trips.
Yeah.
We love to do group trips, couple trips. So, yeah, that's where I'll be.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So yachts have come up again. I feel like that's...
Yes, listen, I love boats. I'm trying to get me one. I'm trying to get a boat.
All right. Well, then, when you get a boat, what are you going to name your boat?
Oh, I have no idea yet.
Got to think about that one there.
I am going to think about that.
Both names are a cool thing. I love, I'm a sucker for a pun, and lots of them have puns in them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, yeah.
Or, whatever. But all right, that would be interesting. We'll do a contest for Name Kameesha's Boat. The problem is if you do a contest, then Bodie McBoatface is what always wins when you do stuff like that. So we won't, we can't do that. When you mentioned, you've done, group trips with friends and couples trips and things like that. Is that, something that works for, like, if you are an introvert, is it more comfortable to think, all right, if I'm traveling with people who are close, because it doesn't degrade that social battery the same way as it would, traveling when you're in big crowds or things like that?
Absolutely. My close circle of friends are my charger. Those are my chargers. Those are my batteries. So when I do travel and things like that, I'm a total extrovert when I'm with my friends. So yeah, it's also the comfortability level. I've known a lot of my friends for half of a decade, maybe. Yeah. So I've known a lot of them for a majority of my life. So
it turns into it's a battery charging thing rather than a battery depleting thing.
Yep, absolutely.
That's awesome. All right. We're only a couple minutes left. Let's get to the real good stuff. You ready? What is the best sandwich?
So we have a grocery store called Publix here, and they have the best chicken tender subs. Oh my gosh!
Tell me about it.
They have chicken tenders, and they cut them up small. Put it on the bread. I get a white bread, foot long. Put some cheese on it. They melt the cheese. Put some chipotle sauce on there. Cut it in 3 ways. Get some potato chips, some sweet potato chips.
Yeah, good to go.
With an iced tea. I'm great.
Nice. It's a sandwich like that, does that sauce kind of make it or break it a little bit? Like you need the right. It's got to be enough spice, but enough thing to balance the whole thing out where you just can't think of anything else till you're done eating it.
Yeah, because I add a little banana peppers and a little bit of jalapeno peppers on there too, so it kind of everything really balance it out. So I like a little spice to it.
I'm hungry. That sounds great. Chicken, with melted cheese and chipotle. All right, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. Okay, same last 3 questions for everybody. You ready?
Okay.
Third to last question. What is a question that you wish you would be asked, but no one ever does?
So I get a lot with, me being a black female, how, as me being a black female, the obstacles I faced. Instead of, how does the obstacles of you being a black woman helps you, motivate you to do what you do? You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of deficits, a lot of negativity. Like, yeah, I'm a black woman, and we definitely do go through a lot of trials and tribulations. But through those trials and tribulations, I have, renovated a ballroom. I've done this. I've done that. So
I love that. Yeah, tell me about the obstacles you've had to overcome, but how have the obstacles you've overcome made you the excellent person that you are today?
Absolutely.
Well, that's a great question. We have to do that one again because I feel like that's a longer answer than one. That's awesome. But I love you use that sort of deficit thinking versus non-deficit thinking. It's
right. Absolutely.
Implied. You can get the same question, but the expected answer is implied based upon the thinking of the way it's phrased from the beginning.
Right.
Thank you. All right. Well, whatever the answer to that is, it seems like you've learned quite a bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Second to last question. If people wanted to get in contact with you or follow your very excellent Twitter feed, how would they find you and find that Twitter feed?
You can find me on LinkedIn at Kameesha Jones, and also you can find me on Twitter at K1117.
K1117. It goes by Mish on there.
Goes by Mish.
Mish. And then before you said K, A Day in the Life with K.
K.
So is there an expanding number of alternate ways of saying your name that are acceptable?
Yeah, I mean, because a lot of people, a lot of friends, they they mush my name up a lot. Like it's K, Kameesha, Misha. So it's like, hey, I'm still me.
Exactly. Well, there are a lot of options, and the 3 vowel sounds, make it where you can do a lot of stuff with it, but you're kind of okay with however anybody wants to do that. Deal. All right. Then I'm just going Shaw. No, I'm not doing that. That doesn't sound good. Never mind. I take that back. I'm so sorry. It was like the whitest thing I've ever said. Okay. I apologize. All right. The final question is, old style newscasters used to have a sign-off phrase they would use to close their broadcast, or people have their drop the mic. When I've said what I've said and I'm done and I drop the mic. What is your drop the mic sign-off phrase?
You're signing off with Kameesha Jones. Always be authentic to yourself and be true to yourself.
Thank you for listening to the AV-IT Amplifier. Join us again for next week's episode when we'll welcome a new guest who you'll want to hear from. We promise. Your host has been Ryan Gray. He's on the tweeters at Ryan_A_Gray, or find him on LinkedIn to connect. Please subscribe and give the show a rating and review wherever you get your podcasts. This show is brought to you by HigherEdAV.com. The views expressed here are not necessarily those of our respective institutions, employers, or sponsors. Everyone hang in there, go easy, and we'll be back next week.